Hey Clashes, Super Witches with the Druids are the best strategy after balance changes in my opinion. The reason for that is we have multiple balance changes, like for example the Valkyries are getting nerfed, the Druids, but that's not relevant for us, I will show you in just a second why, as well as the Super Barbarians, all of them are going to be nerfed. On spells, we're going to have the Overgrowth spell getting nerfed, which is not affecting us whatsoever. But now the question, why is the Druid nerf not affecting this strategy? Well, because you have only really few really tanky troops, and this means the one less healing bounce, which is the nerf for the Druids, is not really affecting you as much, because it's either you're having the heal on your Super Witches, which is 3 bounces, or like overall 3 targets, and you have still 4, so you could even possibly heal your Warden, which is next to the Super Witches. And then on top of that, if the Druids might switch to the Giant Skeletons, you have 1, 2, 3 Giant Skeletons, and maybe the King next to it, which is 4 targets, and you don't have the need for a 5th target, which is exactly the nerf. So overall, not that big of an impact for this specific strategy, which makes it perfect because the power of the strategy is pretty much staying the same. On top of that, perfect with the equipments because you have now so many different options to choose from depending on what equipment you have upgraded so far. The Barbarian King has now 3 different options. Option number 1, in my personal favorite, just because of coolness, not because of power. All 3 options are in similar strength. First one is Earthquake Boots with the Spiky Ball. The reason for that is that, well, the combination of Earthquake Boots and Spiky Ball can one-shot defense in the middle of the core, and especially with defending Ice Golems are approaching your king, it can deal a lot of damage to those surrounding buildings. But your king is overall less tanky, so more damage, less tankiness, which is then like the change which you have to accept. Next thing is still Double Epic. It's still really, really good, even though both equipments got nerfed. It's still just so strong. Those nerfs were not were not big whatsoever. And Double Epic, for everyone who's having the ores and have invested the ores, it's still really strong, really good to go. Another one, which is going to be the El Clasico in my opinion, is the Gauntlet with the Rage Vial. Still really good. A really great combination between tanking, but yet as well damage because of the Rage Vial and the splash damage of the King, but the tanking of the damage reduction of the Gauntlet. So overall as well, a great combination. And every single combination has like pros and cons, but overall strength-wise, pretty much the same. And I will show you every single combination and how to use them with the Barbarian King in this video. But let's move on with the Archer Queen. The Archer Queen as well has 3 different combinations. So for example, she can go with the Healer Puppet and with the Magic Mirror, which is my personal favorite. She can go Double Epic, that's totally fine, or she can go as well Frozen Arrow with the Healer Puppet. All 3 options are fine, all 3 options are really good for you, and obviously only need a little bit of an adjustment in gameplay, which I will show you in just a second. The Warden is the only hero where you have no options. You need the Fireball, you need the Rage Aura for your Super Witches, so those 2 are pretty much set. The only important note here is you don't need a maxed Fireball. More importantly, you want to have a high level Rage Aura, and then the Fireball should be around level 18 or at least level 20 to make sure that with 2 Earthquakes, you can one-shot all of those different buildings, which means you have the same as a level 27 Fireball. The only difference is you need 1 Earthquake more in your army, which we all know currently with the current meta is not as needed, I guess, and you could swag the spells anyway, so you just might get another Earthquake in the army. Next one is the Royal Champion, and I know comments are going crazy, but I'm looking forward when everyone can actually play those changes with the balance changes, because when I did not feel that big of a difference, even though on paper the nerf for the Hog Rider Puppet seems crazy. 2 level less, playing on town level 16 with level 11 Hog Riders, this cannot work, right? Well, as I said, for me it did not seem to be that big of a difference when I played it. This is why this equipment combination is still just so insanely good. And in my opinion, it's still the number 1 spot. The only difference, though, is that it's a shared number 1 spot with this new equipment combination, which is the shield with the rocket spear, which can be really, really powerful as well. But again, those different equipment combinations have to be played differently, and I will show you exactly how that's done in the video. With that being said, let's dive into the attacks. I will show you exactly what you need to look out for, depending on what equipments you actually pick for your attacks. And the reason why I like this Earthquake combination of the boots with the Spiky Ball so much is because it brings you another layer of utility, which means you can use the Earthquake boots somewhere to delay the jump, for example, or use the King ability delay to use then the Earthquake boots to open after the jump and such things. So I think overall, it's going to be really nice, especially with those ground smash type attacks, which exactly this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the fireball on the far left side, and just because I'm confident that we're not time fading, I will just explain. Then we'll like go in here, use the earthquake boots, and then we can jump into the town hall. So we can delay our jump, but still having access to the core, which is quite nice, and it gives us then the option of going to use the siege barracks on this far right side. So let's just do that. So we're starting things off with the Warden, nothing crazy. And again, with the Warden, you're opting for like a 20 to maybe 20, 15 seconds, something like that. Then use the witches to do the Warden over and start your smash attack. Use the Archer Queen with the siege barrack to actually get like the counter push to make sure that you're forcing everything inside. You can use the ability early if the air defense goes by. We're just going to delay things a little bit. The important thing here though is with this combination, the Barbarian King is obviously way more squishy, so you want to delay that at least a little bit with the Barbarian King, so the skeletons are taking the damage, taking the lead, so you can then later on adjust with the damage which is on your troops. And when you want to use the Earthquake boost, because that's really important to actually open the compartment. Now the King is really close, which means I want to use the King ability now. As soon as that scatter shot is gone, I think that might be a good time. Right now, Earthquake boots, and take a look at that, all of this great damage. We can then use the wall break right here. We can use the Queen ability. Let's add 2 more droids. Next one is now with the Royal Champ as well. Let's add the jump here. It's with the Royal Champion now, which is you can start her really early because she has this protection of the invisibility of the Hawk Rider puppet, and just in general, she's really good on her own without like any support, which is quite nice then working alongside with the regular witches and everything. Town Hall even went down. We can add the skeleton spell right here. We have still plenty of spells, so if you're, I don't know, scared of bringing another earthquake, you can tell already we will swag a lot of spells. So yeah, it's not really needed that badly. Let's just push Baby Dragon into the air defense just because we can. Wall break, whatever. So many spells left, it doesn't really matter. And the Hot Rider puppet will be still really strong. I've play tested that, as I said, and the difference is on paper really big. I can totally understand that, but in the end, in reality, it did not really feel as big. So I'm looking forward to see when everyone is able to play test it. But now, that's the first way. Let's move on to the second approach. Invisibility tower bases are typically quite easy. I even though still see people are suggesting to use the giant arrow, which is not needed whatsoever. With those type of bases, you just take down one of those Invis Tower areas and then go into the Eagle with your push. Equipment-wise, we're going with the double epic on both heroes here this time around. And I will tell you as well how that is now different. Let's start using the Warden. I think that Wizard Tower is closest, so let's just do this and this. Fireball. Great value already. Now we can get those witches in here and just get our push going, the same as using the Queen. The great benefit of having, obviously, double epic on the Queen is that you're not relying on defending air defenses to make sure that, well, I don't know, you're getting problems or whatever. As well with the Barbarian King and double epic, you can start the King earlier because, well, you have like an extra layer of defense, an extra layer of protection, because you have the option of, well, having the gauntlet and 55% damage reduction, which is a lot. That's quite a bit. Now, let's move forward. Let's just re-add this. As well with the Queen, you have no healing. That's the only downside, except if you're adding droids to the outside, which we can do with like one of them. That's something which you have to keep in mind when using no healer puppet, which makes this job obviously way easier, more relaxed. Otherwise, we have still a lot of spells. We can just do whatever we want. King is just going forward. We can wall break our Queen in as well if we want to. Re-add some more other droids. And now everything is in the core. Remember, whenever you're using rages, hit those droids, not the skeletons in front. That's not the main thing. Now let's use the Queen ability. We have 2 clones, which is amazing, which is a lot of value. And now we're using the Rocket Spear. Remember, when using this equipment, you don't have the classic protection, so you have to be more strategic with this one. So for example, I'm going in here, I want to take down the first 2 defense, and then I would be in range of that monolith. So as soon as that is happening, I have to pop the ability to then stay out of danger, because there's no hit point recovery, no anything. So that's something which you have to keep in mind when playing this strategy. Spell-wise, again, like, take a look at this. We can just put everything. I don't know what to say. Like, this strategy is obviously insanely powerful if you get that opening fireball right, and the follow-up is just crazy. Make those adjustments with the equipment, which means earthquake boost. You want to have a deeper ability with the Barbarian King. You want to have the super tank in front with the Gauntlet. And, well, as well, the difference with the Rocket Spear, you have to use it more strategic because the haste and the Rocket Puppet is just way more way more forgiving when it comes down that she's running into a lot of damage. You can have the invisibility of the Hot Rider Puppet and as well the haste effect, which is getting her out of danger in most cases. With this Rocket Spear, if she's in danger and you're popping the ability, nothing happens. She will just fall like it's nothing. She's going to be dead in a few seconds, okay? So you have to be really careful with that. It's strong in power, it's strong in like offensive damage, but defensive-wise, it's really, really problematic sometimes. As well, you can bring another Earthquake with your army if you want to use this Royal Champ combination, because this gives you then even more value. But that's typically on you if you have this additional Earthquake, if you want to bring it, but it is for sure an option. Equipment-wise, we're going back to the classic of the Barbarian King, which we had not had so far, which is the perfect balance between offense and defense. Like a nice all-rounder equipment combination. For the Queen, it's like the one which we had before the Magic Mirror. I think we have not had this. I hope so, at least. And then, well, I'm going with the Rocket Spear. As I told you, we're going with another Earthquake because you can do that to empower that equipment combination even more if you want to. But let's just start things off with the Warden deployed on this side. Yes, you could go for like the crazy Fireball on the Town Hall side with the Expos, but that's just way too time expensive and everything. And as I said earlier, with this strategy, you are going more for like really quick Fireball attacks. Let's do this, and now the Lock Launcher. Let's dive in here. We're going to have the Queen ability nice and early to spawn those healers. Maybe another droid to really keep that Queen safe and going. And then we can actually use the Baby Dragon down here to funnel everything inside, because I think the King might redirect. Okay, it's not really redirecting, which is perfect for us, to be honest. We can use a Skeleton spell right here. King is actually can target it, no problem. We will just use the ability, and he's going to turn into like a super tank. Take a look at that. It's taking like a mad machine. Now we're going to jump towards the core, towards the Town Hall and everything. Queen is even going inside. Now let's add some more droids. Maybe some more droids from this side, like some different angle. And then we are keep going. One Super Witch is in the range of a single front tower, so let's just take that out. The next thing, the Royal Champion from the job side. Really important to note, we are trying to use her ability out of danger, okay? So as soon as that mortar is gone, we will use that Royal Champion ability to make sure that things are not too problematic for us. Another Rage, Earthquake, and now the shield that she's out of danger of most defenses. You see as well, Wizard Tower, for example, is one shot with that combination. Otherwise, just some cleanup. Let's get everything going, and we're good to go with another 3-star. So really, a lot of different equipment combinations work. I hope I did not mess things up and only show like 2 of them or something. But really, clearly you can tell that equipment-wise, you have a lot of different options, which is really nice. And now have more options depending on whatever you have upgraded so far. And you're more flexible with picking then whatever you like best, or like what equipment you like more. Because it's not only about, oh yeah, I have to use this, otherwise I'm missing out on something. That's not the case with this strategy for sure. I hope you like this video. Let me know if you agree or disagree with overall my takes on the equipment, as well as if you would agree that this is going to be the strongest strategy in the game. Remember, not for tournaments, like time for the regular clashes, not like a factor. So it's all about 3 stars, and I think this strategy is really, really doing great with just having the goal of 3-starring and doing that really consistently and really effectively. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I wish you guys back tomorrow with the next clash video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.